We got an understanding.
We're on a mission from God.
They shouldn't have given you ashy blokes YouTube.
Cursed be the ground for our sake. Both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for us. For out of the ground we were taken, for the dust we are. And to the dust we shall return.
I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done.
All right, you good people, all you dusty denizens and you ashy blokes, okay, you ashy Jeffries out there, and you dusty Jermaines. Punching the clock. This one was supposed to have been a standalone, pre-recorded, and I had a hard time deciding what kind of live I was going to do today. I actually wanted to do something on adolescence, but I didn't decide which pieces to go with, and there was something that came. What is another one came out about this guy I was watching, a pink pill versus red pill. He said the cure for red pill is femininity, but and he actually blocked me on his live. I had one comment, just popped up, made one comment, and he blocked me, but started to do that one. But I said, okay, man, so that kind of ran out of steam. So I said, okay, let's do this one. This is Michelle Obama, and reviewed by, I think her name is Megan Kelly, about with her podcast, and there's some cogent things that she kind of said about Michelle Obama and her podcast, and her outspokenness about her husband. So we're gonna do that one, and kind of just how you say, punch the clock, and make it do what it do. Anyhow, batting first, Kevin 3905. Batting second, Adric. Good song. It's always a good podcast when Adric is here. Batting third, Eddie from New York. And batting cleanup, John Smith. Appreciate y'all, okay? All right, I'm listening. There's Mongo. What's going on, Woo Man? Forever Blessed. Quentin, Hurricane Greg. Travis, what's going on? Barry Little, what up, Barry Little? Lavaris, what's going on? How's the Waffle House going? Or did you get Starlink? Michael, what's going on? Trail, what's happening? Louis, what's up? So now Michelle wants to talk. Oh, yeah. Oh, now she can talk. Chance, what's happening? Martin Muhammad, how when I get my notifications, it's already 15 ninjas in here with me. Got to talk to YouTube about that one. We'll say at least I'm getting notifications for when you're live. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate YouTube for saying that. In fact, tomorrow I may just do, because Donald Sharp actually interviewed Pearl a few days ago, and he put the video up. I may do that one tomorrow because for whatever I've heard across the board that people like us, I haven't really seen it yet, but people like us are getting a little bit more latitude since Donald Trump's in. So we'll investigate that. Said Snowman said didn't make the starting nine, but I'm on the roster. Yeah. Well, you wearing the rally hats. Drop a like, folks. Harvest, what's going on? Black Money and the Power, what's going on? Hey, Snowman, what do you think about Juju blowing out her knee, man? Soldiers of the Dusty Regiment back on duty. Mel, what's happening? Afro National, what's going on? Prince, what's up? EGC Divine, what's going on? Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank the maestro for that one, man. He actually always has good drops. Dr. Dunbar, what's going on? When we go low, we go high. She hasn't been doing that lately. Big Mo, what's happening? I said, okay, I got all the recommendations for a master's program application in healthcare informatics. I'm gonna take your advice and do the MS in healthcare informatics over the MBA. Yeah, basically. And also, man, see if you can do a summer program in China because China's going AI, building AI hospitals. Okay, so see if you can contact the Chinese government and Chinese healthcare system, and see if you can kind of do like a month or so, just going over what they do in China as far as AI, because that's where the cutting edge stuff is right now. JT, what's going on? Ilias, what's happening? Red Planet, Indigo, to the dust. Lagone, the realist, what's happening? Hey, Gold Professor, what's going on? Indeed, Allah is all in all. What's happening, family? What's up? Dayron, what's happening? Juicy Juice, what's going on? You're late, Instant Media. The Yo, what's happening? Money Cash, what's going on? Panda Man, what's up? John Smith, what's going on? Upstar. Isaiah J, what's going on? Jason, what's happening? Why she ain't why she ain't do not? Okay, I don't get that one. Kelvin, what's going on? Jason, what's up? Inspired Truth, what's going on? Independent POV, what's up? LAPD SWAT, what up from Fort Worth? Hey, the strangest little town in Texas, man. Fort Worth, Texas. Okay, it is a odd little town. Okay, my thoughts on Ratchet Jermaine being charged with assault. It's not going anywhere, man. It's just hyperbole. I never get notifications. I have to actually search for BGS if the show is coming. And my bell is clearly open, no slash across. Yeah. That's my fight with YouTube. What's going on, Pookie? M Lavo, what's going on? Victor Creed, what's happening? Mr. Snazzy, what's going on? Had a Soul, what's going on? Superstar J Quick, what's happening? What up, AL? And Philip Redden. All right, here we go. This is going to be something interesting. Megyn Kelly actually reviewed Michelle Obama's podcast, when it first started. Miguel, what's going on? Jarrett, what's happening? Age of Machines, what's going on? And she has some interesting takes, okay? About how not just the podcast itself, but how Michelle Obama has been, I wouldn't say disrespecting, but I would say slick dissing Obama for even before he became president, even when they were running, a little sneak disses, and how differently even somebody like Megyn Kelly sees him. Okay, Megyn Kelly does not particularly like a Barack Obama. The thing is, she has more respect for him, in my opinion, than his own wife. But that is the Gynocracy. Brooklyn Finest, what's going on? Count, what's going on? So here we go.
This is what the base of the party wants to hear. And if you want to boost your social media numbers, if you want to get more cable hits, if you want to seem like you're more influential in the party than you were previously, these are the things that you have to say. But in terms of actually defeating Trump, and not just Trump, but the Trump movement, the Republican Party is led by Trump, This is proven not to work. People don't believe that Trump is a threat to democracy. Now, maybe with some of the things that they're doing that I actually do find controversial, but not huge departures from the tradition of presidents, that message will resonate more with a broader base of people. But I don't think so. I don't think they will ever come to see Donald Trump as some sort of like Mussolini figure or Hitler figure or someone threatening American elections. That's just not how the American people, by and large, perceive Trump. And this is an easy message. Like, he's a threat to our democracy. They've been using it for a decade, though, and it's just not working. And I don't understand why they think it's going to work now.
No. So you mentioned Joe Rogan, and there has been this sort of weird panic on the left. We've got to find our own Joe Rogan. Of course, the irony being Joe Rogan was their Joe Rogan. He was of the left. He was a Bernie supporter. They drove him out of
And that is true. There was a lot of, I see a lot of those former Bernie bros that went right. And some of the Bernie bros even went even further left, okay? Because when you know, because Bernie is a socialist, right? And what happened when Bernie didn't get his nomination, what happened was that some went far left, okay, was further left, which is the Russia Times, RT, European socialist bent. They went left, further left, and then you have some that went right, which is the Donald Trump MAGA movement or MAGA leaning movement. Okay, so the Bernie Bros actually split, and I see them going in two different directions. With one thing they do not like is the Democrats, or the current Democrats.
the party with their insanity, their woke insanity, the lies about COVID, the crackdowns on Joe for his truths about COVID, all sorts of things, that drove a lot of us further to the right, including Rogan. But the answer to their
Appreciate you, Incognito. This will be more interesting. What's your take on the Democrats' disarray? They're hemorrhaging voters. They may well not be viable for the next 2 or 3 election cycles. We've done this, man. I don't know where you've been, but we talked about this like before the election. We talked about this after election. If you go back in and look at the live archives, it's there. We talked about it. Okay, we talked about why. We talked about why they imploded even before Biden dropped out of the race. Okay, well, I mean it's multifaceted. Their disarray is they were bribed by and bought up by the neocons. There's a big neocon wing led by Hillary Clinton just bought up the Democrats, and they let them basically off a cliff. But yeah, we actually talked about it.
absence now of Joe Rogan in their party does not appear to be Michelle Obama. So far, no. She got no percentages whatsoever as the leader of the party, which is interesting.
Yeah, but the thing is, Michelle Obama probably was still a party favorite up until the time she didn't show up for either Donald Trump's I think it was inauguration or Jimmy Carter's funeral with Barack. Right after that, she's been persona non grata. Well, yeah. Well, he probably wouldn't say anything. Colin Powell is pretty tight-lipped.
Because think of all the buzz around her when we thought Joe had to step down after that June debate. He's got to go. Could it be Kamala? Well, she's not going to win. What about Michelle? Oh, would she do it? She was one of the main names, if not the main name, mentioned. But now nobody sees her as a party leader. And apparently Michelle Obama does not see herself as a party leader, because when she talks about like her time in the White House, Barack running, it's all negative on this new podcast. I mean, it's exactly what we thought, that it's very clear she hated being first lady. She hated being in Washington. She doesn't like the fact that Barack was president. I mean, she just has nothing but negative things to say. Here's just one small, she doesn't like openly get, caustic, but she makes it pretty clear that this has never been a good idea in her mind. Here's SOT 15 with her and her brother Craig, who's her.
Uru says it's not just that Bernie was denied. It disgusted many of his supporters to such a degree that they would never support the Dems again. The Dems were permanently damaged by what happened in 2016. Yep, they were. Yeah, that 2016. And then when Hillary couldn't cross the threshold, that really damaged the Democratic Party. I would have voted for Michelle Obama, but we all knew she was what was up with this economy. Damn well, no, she would not take the blame. Yeah, well, yeah, she probably wouldn't. Nobody does. It's called politics.
Your co-host.
Couldn't have gotten through 8 years in the White House without my big brother. And that's another sort of unusual aspect to our lives, our relationship, was this whole, being married to the president of the United States thing.
Yeah.
that none of us kind of.
Oh, she says it with such a nasty disdain, like I hated doing it, and I hated being there, and it's like the lowest thing on the planet, being married to the president of the United States and being first lady. Good grief! I mean, just you can see the dripping sarcasm.
Kind of banked on. I mean, we knew Barack was smart and ambitious, but I think. But you talked me into supporting his run.
I did.
And he was smart enough to know that he needed to come to you and sell you on the idea.
Barack came to me and
he's smart enough to know he needed to sell you on the idea. Okay. Because her brother was the only one that actually talked sense into her dumb head. No, I'm not gonna say dumb. She's not dumb. Her stubborn ass head.
He's like, I can't convince your sister to go along with this. And I'm like, whoa, go along with what? And it's like, I think I'm gonna run for president. And I was like, what?
Your husband wants to run for president. A black man wants to run for president, and you think that's a bad thing. Yeah. She says that she respects her brother more than she does Barack. I don't think she's ever really respected Barack. I really don't. But you can tell her disdain, man. Like, I don't know, man. Just their whole vibe, man, is like. I mean, what's her name? Donald Trump's wife has a better vibe toward Donald than she has toward Barack. It's just something I don't know. And it's always been there.
Convinced you to not penalize him for being really good at what he does.
There's a lot in there, Glenn. That does not sound like somebody who's in favor of his run for president, or frankly, in favor of him.
Ooh.
Like, he was smart and ambitious. Think about if that's how, that's why you thought that your spouse was going to run for and possibly become president. I mean,
wow. Yeah, she's like, ugh. How dare you? I said, you can't win as a black man when you see how disrespectful she is, man. And a man in a suit with the nuclear football gets the same treatment as a brother in slides. Okay, probably don't get as much treatment as a brother in slides. What's up, Maestro? They still giving you kudos on your lick, man. That for the intro. Be just my pro black barbershop even agrees that JD will be hard to beat in 2028. The 2030 census might never let a Democrat win again. Possibly not. Possibly not. Said her and her brother are a bit too close for my comfort. They're almost like the same people, man. I met it. I met people like that, and I think they're too much dominated by their mother.
Smart. He's ambitious. None of what Barack Obama actually ran on, right? I want to change the world. I want to heal the country, hope and change. She wasn't buying it, and it doesn't sound like she buys it to this day.
Yeah, I have to say,
even white people are uncomfortable with how she talks about her husband, who happens to be an ex-president. They're uncomfortable. You can tell white people are uncomfortable about this.
There's a part of that with which I can empathize, because if you run for president, your entire family is subjected to immense amount of public scrutiny.
I don't put too much stock in JD. We've only had like 2-3 presidents under 6 feet tall. JD Vance is 6'6", so I don't know where you get this under 6 foot tall stuff.
Every aspect of your life is picked apart and disclosed. And the role of First Lady is not necessarily the freest role. There's expectations of what you're supposed to do and can't do, the decorum that limit to what you can do. So I'm not necessarily going to say that I think it's outrageous that that wasn't something that she wanted for her life or expected for her life. But if that's really how she feels, and there's been reports for a long time that that is how she feels, it has to produce a lot of resentment. I mean, he ended up doing what she insists she didn't want him to do. And she did end up being First Lady for 8 years. And if that really is the kind of thing that she disliked doing, you have to kind of think that there's something in her that's...
I know Musk is 6'2". I thought J.D. Vance was taller than that.
Probably pretty angry about that. I also should say that she got immense benefits from having had that role. She seemed at times to enjoy it. I mean, she was kind of very regal and one might say queen-like in her behavior. But since then, too, both of them got extremely rich. They spend most of their time on, Richard Branson's yacht, or in Martha's Vineyard at their sprawling estate, or in their, multi-million-dollar DC townhouse. So this kind of like, I wasn't sure I didn't want this, seems unconvincing to me as well in a lot of ways.
I know. And she's also out on David Geffen's yacht with Oprah. And then, her memoir was named Becoming. Look at me.
That'd be funny. They probably should call Michelle Obama's the Blue Table Talk, right? This is the White House Table Talks, the professional version. Jada Pinkett is at home like, yes, Michelle hated her White House entanglement bid. Just is probably the main reason why Colin Powell's wife talked to him into not running for the office back in the 90s. Could be. Okay, JD Vance is 6'2". I thought he's taller than that.
Becoming with her big face on the front. Like, okay, she's a little drunk on her own wine, but not on Barack's, which is just interesting to me. At this point, after having been First Lady twice, thanks to him, let's face it, Michelle Obama was not some star in her own right. She was a lawyer, I think at Sidley and Austin in Chicago, which is fine. It's fine. It's no great shakes. I've been in Chicago. I've practiced law there for many years. So it's fine. It's fine. So she took her Harvard Law degree and got a job with a corporate law firm. Fine. Literally nobody would have known her name if that's how she had chosen to spend her life. We know who she is because of him, because he became president. He was this unique character and had there were a lot of reasons behind his election, but she still to me sounds bitter. And even knowing that there are divorce rumors and, she's not showing up for him, whether it's at the Jimmy Carter funeral or the Trump inauguration.
See, go back to that, right? She didn't show up for him. Okay. My thing, why don't you just get a divorce? Okay. If you embarrass a man like that. And so I see making Kelly put some of that weight back on. Had the big O had her looking like the Red Skull. Who's the big O?
Or the basketball game he just went to in LA when visiting their daughters, and then dinner with the daughters was not there. Here she is talking about it. If it were me, I would say something nice about him. I would say he's just so charming. It was meant to be. I knew he could heal the earth in the way he did. There was only one person who could do it. And it was my husband, Barack Obama, whatever. Then she gets on to talking a little bit about him personally. And this is how that sounded. Slide 18.
When a girlfriend comes to visit, it's usually like you got to stay for 2 days because it's going to take us
so much
2
time to come
days
to
check up. Now, Barack's come in, he's come out, and he's like, y'all still talking? He'll sit down for 5 minutes, be like, how are the boys? And the flip side of my husband, right? Because he golfs, and golfing takes as long as the first session of our, it takes 5 hours to golf. He'll golf with his buddies, come back, and be like, how's X? He's good. It's like, what'd y'all talk about? Nothing.
Okay. So can I just say she stole that from a comedian who's all over Instagram. That little bit is all over Instagram. Forgive me, I can't remember the guy's name, but he does this whole bit about how he goes golfing with a guy whose wife just died, and he comes home and the wife's like, "How's he doing?" "Fine." "Well, how would you?" He knows nothing, right? It's like a thing. So I don't even know if that's real, but my point is simply that to me, none of the clips, because we have 10 of them, I'm not going to go through all of them, sound to me like a person who looks at the husband with any sort of stars in the eyes still. And it is possible. It is possible decades into marriage, I can attest to that, to still have stars in your eyes for your loved one.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I first of all, I do often want to be a little bit humble about our ability to judge a relationship from afar. I mean, there were certainly all kinds of speculation that the Clintons were going to divorce the minute they got their chance.
I thought would divorce. Okay, I mean, as much as Bill has been exposed doing stuff, okay, Hillary has never talked about Bill Clinton the way Michelle Obama has about Barack, and Barack, to my knowledge, publicly is clean as a whistle. So I don't know. I hope Michelle lives long enough to see another black man become president, and the first lady is the whitest supporter. I can't take y'all nowhere. Yeah, she's unoriginal as well. Gynocracy punch in the air right now. Yep.
And here they are, in their mid-70s, and they're still married. And yeah, I mean, exactly. Oh, there was all kinds of, speculation about.
Yeah, she does kind of sound like Aisha Curry, wanting the spotlight. Jada Pinkett, the same way.
Hating Trump and wouldn't even, and the reality is, like, even if you do love your spouse, there are times you're going to fight with them. And the only reasons that you get those negative emotions is because you love them and care enough. What I find weird, Megan, is I can't imagine going on a podcast publicly and talking about what, obviously, I do think those resentments are real that she's sharing, like these kind of like complaints about your husband. Not like, you could do it in a light way, in a humorous way, like the differences between a husband and wife or whatever. But she seems like that is pretty, I don't know, pretty intimate and pretty deep about what she seems to find unsatisfying about her marriage to Barack Obama in a way that, I don't know, it just makes me uncomfortable. Like, that's the sort of thing that you work on with a marriage counselor or in therapy.
And see, what he said is making white people uncomfortable, the vibes they get from her.
Or something. Why is she saying so much, as you say, like that's very negative? The only reason we know her is because of her husband. And yeah, you're right. I went and worked for a major law firm when I graduated law school.
How's your health, baby? You doing good? You doing good? Are you still laid up
on Wall Street? And I left in 2 years because it was so soul crushing. And all of this that she's complaining about is what lifted her into this figure that she benefited from in so many ways. Like, she writes books and they go to the New York Times bestseller list because she was married to Barack Obama. I don't know. I find that strange. Like, you have to have a lot of negative resentment inside of you toward your husband if you start a podcast and you immediately start kind of complaining about what happened inside your marriage and blame him for it.
Right. That's to me what she embodies. She's constantly negative and full of grievance, notwithstanding the enormous riches that this country has rained down on her. This country has done nothing to her.
Oh, poor baby. Poor baby. I wish I could kiss the boo-boo.
Other than treat her, as you point out, like royalty. Even though she said, this is the first time in my adult life, I'm actually proud of my country when he got either nominated or elected, whichever. doesn't make a difference. First time ever, really, this country where you went to Princeton, you went to Harvard Law School, you wound up a successful lawyer. You never found a way to be proud of your country before that? Okay. And ever since has been bitching about her life on the yachts and in the multi-million-dollar home in Martha's Vineyard and the homes in Hawaii and Chicago and DC and the still controlling the levers of power and going up as the star speaker at the DNC. She's still bitter. Check back in. Still bitter.
Yeah. It's never enough, right? Never enough. Never happy.
Okay, we're still not over it. There's no amount of money or political power or success or number of memoirs called Becoming. Maybe we should just say it. Beautiful, stunning. That'll be the follow-up. That's going to make this woman less bitter. I think it's who she is. And honestly, like this podcast, now it's getting, I don't know, the second episode had 14,000 views where she had Issa Rae on there, 14,000 views a couple of days into it. That I realize she's just getting started, but that's embarrassing for the former first lady, for the woman who was almost president, being talked about as to step into the Joe Biden shoes. And so something's happening. I think with the Barack Obama at 4%, Michelle Obama not even on the list, and this podcast struggling to put real numbers on the board, I think the Democrat Party is over the Obama.
Wow.
Yeah, that honestly, that really struck me too. I mean, over the last, I think like 6 years now, it's kind of almost been like a conservative paranoia that the Democratic Party was maneuvering constantly to get rid of whoever was going to be their nominee and replace him with Michelle Obama. That was in 2020 what we heard, in 2024 what we heard, because a lot of polls showed that she had this kind of popularity. But I think it was very surface level. Like, it's easy to be popular if you've never run for office before, if you haven't really staked out a lot of positions and haven't had to. We saw that with Kamala Harris, the way, at first she seemed like she was this cultural phenomenon, and then she had to say what she believed in and couldn't, and it all kind of collapsed. But I see it the other way. It's like, I could see huge numbers of people turning into Michelle Obama's podcast at the start just because, it's something new and we find this person interesting, and then tailing off as she becomes less interesting. The fact that it's starting with these pathetic numbers, I think it does illustrate what you're saying. I saw a clip where
the thing is, I'm gonna read Ural's quote in a minute. The thing is with her, okay, you want to be popular, you want your stuff to pop, and you wind up doing negative stuff. That's what I understand about black women, right? Black women do some of the dumbest shit. Okay, why would you do something publicly, like not show up for Jimmy Carter's funeral or not show up next to your husband during the inauguration, amongst other things, right? Why would you do that and then start a podcast and try to become popular? Makes absolutely no freaking sense. You do everything in the world to be unpopular, and then want people to come in and actually support you publicly. Makes no sense. But that is the Gynocracy, man. They want black men to come back and save them and save the community, and then talk crap about them. Makes no sense. Black men should want to come be with us. I'm not coming to be with you, and you talking shit about me every 5 seconds, okay? Saying that you'd rather be with the bear than be with me. Well, then go be with the bear, okay? Do I look like a bear to you? Anyway, I said Bill is too old and feeble to chase tails, so a Clinton divorce doesn't solve anything, and their breakup would likely make it easier for either of them to intentionally or accidentally wound the other. Yep. Yeah. Well, basically, it's public. So, has anyone ever considered that Michelle is jealous of Barack for being biracial and light-skinned? Oh, I can't take you nowhere, old man. I've been over Obama. Well, the thing is it's a matter of Michelle makes black women look bad. Okay, she does. And that's the issue. That's why I wanted to, I was actually going to do this as a standalone. But I just want to point out, I mean, like Barack or not, like him or not, okay, whether you like him or you don't like him, right? Okay, I don't think there's a black man on the planet that could actually ascend to the heights that he ascended to. I don't think he can get higher than that. I don't think he can get higher than the black president of leading a global white empire. I'm not just talking about a small European country. I'm talking about a global white empire. You're at the tippy top of white supremacy, and you're a black man as president. You cannot ascend higher than that. Okay, you cannot ascend higher than Barack Obama as far as power and fame. Okay, win a Nobel Peace Prize. You can't get higher than that. And with all that and all that status, your black wife can't respect you. Come on, man. And then you have black women out there clapping it up. Yeah, like, yes, girl. Come on, man. I said, if white folks have to defend you, who's the real enemy? We know who the op is, man. And says, she's that typical black woman who eventually take the arrogant, delusional fluckery too damn far. I think she has what they call jump the shark. And don't kid yourself, Michael would love to tell Barack to shut up and dribble in a New York man. What I'm saying is, Barry Little, we know, if we're there at the very beginning, Megyn Kelly is no fan of Barack Obama. No fan, okay? She's no fan of Barack Obama, but she disagrees with the disrespect that Michelle is showing him. That's why I'm playing her. She's not a white fan of Barack Obama. The thing is, she does respect status and position. I said, I see why all the former first ladies keep their mouths closed when it comes to their husbands. Speaking silent. You have to protect his position and his legacy. Okay. I said, they're stupid. And KMS says, Chef Butter Biscuits support this message. Okay, what is it? Dennis Green said they are who we thought they were. In fact, I'm gonna get that clip. Okay.
She and her brother were debating whether or not a hot dog is a sandwich, and trying to, it's like, and again, this is what I mean. It's like Michelle Obama lives the ultimate jet-setting life. She hangs around billionaires all the time. She's at the most, like ostentatious galas. She's wearing, $50,000 and $100,000 gowns everywhere. And so then trying and be relatable by talking to your brother about such a boring, is a hot dog a sandwich? Wow, you think it isn't? What? This is no one's going to listen to this. Why would they?
Exactly. I'll give you one more soundbite of Michelle with brother Craig and why they wanted to do this podcast, SOT 14.
Some people react like, you're doing a podcast with your brother?
Why would you do that?
I know, really. But our dynamic is so, in my view, unique. I think
Why does she sound more masculine than he does? Why does she sound more masculine than he does? Even though, he was a ball player. No, he played basketball. He played sports. Okay, so why does she sound more masculine than he does?
Plenty of siblings who have great relationships, but I think when we think back to where that came from, I think about just the physical closeness that we had. I mean, we weren't wealthy,
right?
And Dad was working class. We lived in the same apartment our whole lives and had to grow into that. And as a result, you and me, we were physically close growing up.
Because they lived in a small apartment, you see. Now, this is why Brother Craig is the co-host of this podcast, which, let's face it, no one cares about Brother Craig. We don't know Brother Craig. If she were doing this with Barack, she might actually get some numbers on the board.
True. That is true. That is true.
Or with one of the daughters. I think people are mildly interested in the daughter.
That is also true.
But Brother Craig, I'm sorry, we don't know him. No, don't care that you were physically close, whatever that means, under a roof growing up. I just feel like, look, maybe this is the new Joe Rogan thing. Maybe she too, like Chris Murphy dropping a fucking tough day. And this is Michelle Obama trying to be like her authentic self to be the new Rogan, Glenn. But to me, the whole thing is just evidence of, Democrats untethered, right? Like not understanding the way forward and just kind of throwing darts at the board. I'll give you the last word before we go to break.
Yeah, there's nothing charismatic about Craig,
No.
brother Craig. Although
There is nothing charismatic about Craig. That is very true. Okay. Uh, yeah.
I will say, like, that is why I kind of thought she was being authentic in these complaints and grievances about Barack Obama, because she does seem close to her brother. She does seem to be talking to him in this way that maybe is more intimate. She'd be willing to say things to him that she wouldn't be willing to say to a generalized interviewer. So I don't know. Maybe that's what they thought was going to be the appeal of the podcast, but it just seems very narcissistic. Like just these two siblings talking about themselves and their relationship. I don't know.
Talk about
really
something
no
that matters to the rest of us. Like talk about the news, talk about policy, talk about something that matters to other people. By the way, it's very interesting. Without her speechwriters, she's a shadow of the woman we saw.
Ooh, that is not nice. That is not nice.
On stage at the DNC and elsewhere, where she gives these rousing speeches. She knows how to deliver it. She pauses it just the right moment. When it's just her, it's very flat. Okay, Glenn stands by. He stays with us. We'll get into Mahmoud Khalil, on which Glenn and I disagree, so that ought to be interesting, and much, much more. The New York Times actually speaking the truth now on COVID without acknowledging.
Okay, I did this is because the clip they had was too short. I actually wanted the full clip, but that is I can say interesting, right? Okay, I just the flavor of Michelle Obama. But the thing is, like I said, that's why I picked Megyn Kelly. She doesn't particularly like Barack Obama. Okay, but the thing is, she doesn't like the crap that Michelle is doing. Just like Jasmine Crockett calling the governor of Texas Hot Wheels, okay, which is funny, but thing is, it's not funny coming out of your mouth because you're a representative. You're supposed to have more decorum than that, which is what the Democratic Party is going through right now. Michelle is showing the world what we have to deal with. I think it helps to shine a light on how black women treat black men for the world to see and creates support for us. Yeah, it does. Well, the thing is, Passport Bros is really shining a light on black women. Okay. And as they try to follow us outside the country and getting rebuffed, they said, oh, okay, we see why the black men are leaving you. You see that they're not the problem, you are. Brother Craig, she's frying them. And see, Charles says, I always said that men project power when women are supposed to protect the honor. This is a very selfish, vitriol-driven individual. The equivalent of Lois Lane thinks she's better than Superman. I think she really wants, and I've heard this, that she really wants Barack Obama to actually follow her lead. Okay. That's like most Gynocrat. I think somebody asked me, I think it was Cousin T-Talk, so what do I mean by when I say black women actually want you under them, right? I think this is a good example, okay? He is at such a high status, there's no way in her lifetime she actually going to put her accomplishments over him. She can't go any higher than he went. Okay, even if she became president, she still can't go any higher than he went. So the thing is, he will never be under her. I think gynocratic women like her expect for their men to be under her. You can tell, but you can tell how, I don't know. I'm not saying that just may be Craig's voice, but you can tell how can I say it? He's not effeminate, but he's, even with his sister, he seems kind of neutered. Maybe that's probably the wrong word, but I've never really seen him in public too many times. But the thing is, seeing him next to her, it's like, good grief, dude. Who has more testosterone, you or her? I said, Craig is her comfort pillow or blanket. Yeah, I think so. Said there could never have been a better black man than Obama to uphold white supremacy than him. That's any president. What I'm saying is that as far as status, okay, regardless of what you think about white supremacy or any of all that other stuff, right? Okay, it is what it is. Okay. The thing is, he was president of the most powerful country on the planet. Okay, commander in chief of the most powerful military on the planet. Okay, you can't get any higher in status as a black man on this planet than president of the United States. You can't. I don't care who you are. Name me one. Name me one. And the thing is, you can't get basic respect from your wife. Get the fuck out of here. I said she's a great example on how black women will never grow up. They get older and go back to 8 years old. It's not about maturity, okay? It's about how they see the world. In fact, let me see if I can find it, because I do have it. I still want to play it, because I was just looking at it, and what he said about the gynocratic hierarchy. The gynocratic hierarchy in the black community was pretty much spot on, and kind of highlights what I'm saying here. There's a lot of the stuff we've been saying, like when Dr. L actually did that interview with the lady talking about the bringing out a patriarchy, right? What's her name? God, I can't remember her name right now. But the thing is, okay, this is the one.
An unwritten rule, by the way, in the black community that there is somewhat of a hierarchy when it comes to respect. At the top of that hierarchy are old black women and grandmothers. Below them are black mothers. Below them are black women and girls, regardless of whatever their age is. Below them are old black men. Below them are black fathers. And at the very bottom are black men and black boys. And this skewed pyramid of phony respect often overrides truth and accountability, replacing it with dysfunction and hypocrisy.
I mean, that he pretty much sums up what we've been talking about as far as the gynocracy over the past, since I've been on, past 11 years. He sums it up exactly, and this is something that they pretend that doesn't exist, right? You know, their actions and their functions and how they try to suppress boys and how to suppress boys' advancement. What they did with voting, okay, in 1850, what they did in civil rights, okay, what they did with affirmative action, what they're doing with DEI, okay. They're suppressing their own men. That's why I played that about even in the Democratic Party. Okay, they allowed the Democratic Party to emasculate their own men. So Gundam says this relationship is the poster child for women refusing to follow, despite you being a competent leader. Can't get any more competent than Barack Obama, right? It's not the man's lack of ability; it's the woman's refusal to follow. Choose someone who will. Yeah, that's what you have to do. The thing is, most black women do not follow. Okay, tough but true. Not easy to be impactful without a Hollywood level speech writing. That's she's trained. Okay, she's trained, and I don't think that is her forte. Off the cuff speaking. It's like she doesn't like him but respects him, yet it looks like far better treatment than what his wife gives him. Yeah, yeah. I think with Megyn Kelly respects. She don't like him, but she respects him. Beat Up still believes they are on top. The lie is deep. That's their aspiration, is to be on top. Said Brother Darkness, Michelle's brother does come off like he's part of the black Dora Milaje. Y'all hate shit. I said, BGS, could it be that Michelle represents not being Barry's first at choice? I've often heard it said that their marriage is a political. It is. Okay. a political union. But uh, look at look at Clinton. Okay, Bill and Hillary is actually political. Okay, the Bush's wives are actually political. There's a lot of political, ongoing political um, arrangements when you go that high up. But the thing is that this is this is blatant disrespect. Okay, this is black women not wanting to play their role. Okay, you see this in politics. You saw this. I mean, you just saw it in the last election cycle, right? Because they had a black woman that was on board. They were giving black men their behinds to kiss. Let me play one more. I think this is interesting. And this is a pop the balloon moment, which I don't like pop the balloon per se, but this is actually in line. Said Brother Craig is just a regular Ghana goon, Ghana Pookie or Ghana bot. Boy's walking side. And he's actually married to a white woman. On top of that, okay? His wife is white. But you can't make this up. Here's an. I mean, basically, we could do this all day, right? About how black women see us, right? Okay. This is a young guy. Say Dusty Jermaine tax tacos on the mayor. Appreciate you, Dusty.
What's your biggest turnoff in the female? Like what she can do that's gonna make you like, nah, I'm good.
Man, I was hoping for this question.
And then you see he's a pookie, okay? Tats, dreads, he's a pookie, right?
I think for me, one of my biggest turnoffs, you can be as gorgeous, you can be as cute, pretty, fine, whatever, got it all. If you disrespect me or like you don't respect me, we can't do it. I've just been in so many relationships where everything was good, you just didn't respect me. I don't like this. Nowadays, disrespect is cool. Yeah, I want me to pop your. That's weak. I don't want that. Because then that's extra baggage I got to take to work. I come home after a long day, and I know you're probably going to scream at me because I didn't do X, Y, Z. Instead of, babe, you could just talk to me. Just tell me. It ain't nothing. Just tell me. Like, that's it. We ain't got to scream at each other. Son. Now, some arguing is healthy. And people don't like to argue, but there's a respectful way to argue with me. See, because when you argue, truth comes out. A lot of hard areas come out, but there's a way to tell me instead of.
What's your
I mean, basically this. I mean, the whole Manosphere has been saying this, right? That's how come the, the adolescence thing is coming to bear, right? Because it's penetrating white boys, and they're trying to hold the line because the tangled pathology has already gone through the black community, right? You can see there will be closer to the bottom, right? Where we're not educated, more like street people, the way they carry themselves, okay? But she has the same kind of low level disrespect toward men that Michelle Obama has. Okay, you can almost swap places with that guy and Barack Obama, and basically the outcome will be the same. There is no difference, right? That's why I show him. He's at the tippy top because all that bullshit they say. If you can be the Superman, you can be that dude, you can be successful, rich, powerful, status driven, smart, all that kind of crap, you'll get the utmost respect from your woman. Bullshit. Can't get no higher than him. Can you be richer? Sure, you can be a billionaire, right? But you can't get no higher than him, right? Okay. The richest black men in the United States, right? Why are they married to white women? You think Michael Jordan's wife respected him? Come on. Look at Shaq's wife, ex-wife. Like I said, look at Steph Curry and Aisha Curry. Hell, look at Will and Jada. Will's damn near a billionaire. You think he gets respect from her? Come on. 600 watching. Okay, please hit the like button. So the fact that people think arguing is healthy is bad. some disagreement is healthy. Well, you know, in the hood, argument, some arguments are, there's a way to disagree. Some disagreement is healthy. And and there's white people arguing and there's black people arguing. Okay. Remember Dr. T said was at one of his friends' house, right? And his friends is married to a Caucasian woman, right? And he was there visiting, and and he was there for a while, and then he asked Dr. T to leave and said, "Okay, me and my wife had to go discuss something because we were just arguing." And he said, "When did you all argue?" He said, "The discussion that we just had, that was the argument." And for us, that's like asking what's for dinner, what they did, right? Now, argument, you know, like the guy, the Kansas City chief dude, right? They asked the chick to leave where she tore up his stuff and pulled out his hair and stuff like that. That's arguing to black people. That's a fight. That's an argument to a black woman. That little that's nothing. It's not an argument. To a white woman, it is. So it's arguing and there's fighting. Black people don't really argue; they fight. I said I seen this video a while ago, bro. The bro was cooking. Yeah. Enlightenment is even reaching the street dudes. Men as a whole are really getting fed up. That's why I wanted to. I was actually going to do this other dude, man. About he was actually talking about adolescence, right? And he's having an issue with it is because a lot of stuff that was repeated, Manosphere stuff was actually repeated in adolescence. He said his sons were talking about, right? Coming on with same memes, you know, like the 80-20 rule and Chad and other kind of stuff, right? Was actually popping up in his lingo. So basically, and I think his sons are not teenagers yet. Okay, and he monitors the kids' stuff, and they look at they look at the Manosphere as recruiting, as indoctrination, and it's not, because most of the stuff we talk about is not for young boys; it's for grown ass men over the age of 30. But the information is starting to trickle down. So the thing is, that's what's bothering uh, the mainstream society. It's not that we are this big social thing that's globally taken over the whole world online. The thing is that the information, the truths that we're actually speaking are starting to trickle down to younger and younger and younger levels. Like now it's people, kids in grade school are repeating some of the same stuff that we say. That's bothering the people at the top, especially feminists. That's like the adolescence kid was 13, which didn't make sense. What a 13-year-old is doing out at 11 o'clock at night with a knife and with, you know, a white kid, okay, with two parents at home, and the parents don't notice that he's out. There's no way a 13-year-old can come in at midnight and basically not be questioned. There's no way that a young girl that's 12 or 13 years old is going to be out by herself in a parking lot in the middle of the night. Okay, and people don't know about it. So basically, the whole show was made up. Didn't make sense. Okay, for kids that young. But the thing is, the Manosphere information is starting to penetrate downward into younger and younger and younger men, and that's where they're having a problem with. So take Barack's resume, flip it with Kamala's birth dynamics, education, political career, family dynamic scandals, and look them up. No way black women are supporting him with her resume. Nope. What's up, Apple Bite? As yeah, Xavier. No, he's not a. The thing is, she got caught cheating, and I might do that one tomorrow. She got caught cheating on her man. He asked her to leave. She didn't want to leave because she was trying to get him arrested because she's trying to ruin his career. Argument of conflict is absolutely needed if it's done in a healthy manner. Humanity has achieved much as the results of conflict through history. Yep. I mean, disagreement is fine. Black people don't really argue, they fight. Man, black women don't argue, they fight. And you know, I can't tell you how many times I tell my my exes to keep try to don't put your hands on me, and they would unball their fists because they know I'm going to hurt them. It said the environment is affecting men and boys. The manosphere is causing a resonance with their experience that attracts everyone unless they are simps and in denial. Even the simps are not in denial. In fact, the brother I did the video on with the 18 reasons black men don't want to get married, he actually put in a comment, okay, agreeing with the show, which I was kind of surprised about. Very few content creators actually do that. Actually agreeing with the show. So he was in resonance with what we're saying. He said he had to come to grips with that fact. So he admitted it. The information is very important, but what the young teens have now is words to express what they're feeling, and they know how to reply to a disagreement on how they're feeling. Yep. I don't think there's any turning back from the 80-20 rule. It's a stone cold reality that man boy can't ignore, especially when they see a constant replica. The thing is, the 80-20 rule is a business rule. That's where it came from. I think it's the Pareto, the Pareto or Prado theory, okay, about business, that 80% of your profits come from 20% of your customers. That's where it comes from. Okay, it's not a manosphere created talking point. Okay, and the thing is, your dating apps resonate with the same thing. Your dating apps actually prove it in the real world, right? So basically, I don't know why they push back against it, because it's been proven. Okay, I had a few friends that at 12 or 13 were locked out of the house if they didn't make it home by 10. Their moms would put a butcher knife through the door. Yeah. The thing is, I might review I might do a review of it on my Patreon, because I didn't like it. Is because I know it's a one shot thing, but the thing is, it's so slow at points that it's kind of hard to get through. It should have been maybe 2 episodes, because all the filler they had in between made it too slow. And the plot itself didn't make sense. Men have decided to follow Kobe's advice and move the game forward. This is why the young boys are getting the word. Yep. And the Pareto principle. Yeah. That's actually a business idea. Okay. Researching business customers, right? And basically the dating apps have basically coincided with the Pareto principle. So do that with you. I might do a video on that, because it's interesting, because they talk about the 80-20 rule. Okay. And the feminists and even though the feminists and the and so-called establishment push back against it with things, they can't disprove it. We need a rant. I mean, rants have to come from the gut, man, and you have to feel a rant. You just can't rant, man. It just can't. I'm not the ranter in chief. I got to feel it. Anyhow, my good people, I'm on overtime right now. It's time to punch out. Yeah, well, yeah, they eat their own men. Okay, you see how I don't know, man. You see her relationship with her brother. It's like, I just don't like that dynamic. He's soft and cozy. He might be like the big teddy bear, okay, type, and she's the and she's she's a hyena, ready to tear people's guts out. Anyhow, man, that's probably wrong. Brandon Gamble said, "Thank you for continuing to bring clarity, restore the masculine frame. It supports Black men to be liberated, to make their own choices." Dr. Tia San Johnson got me to your page. Appreciate you. Yeah. Appreciate you and Dr. T. How many of us get written into history of the greatest nation on earth? In any religion on earth, there is something that speaks to God's hatred of ingratitude. You know what? even the first ladies have tried to talk to her. Hey, yeah, baby, you can't say that about your husband, okay? You can't say that about your husband and his legacy. His legacy is your legacy, and she doesn't care. She don't care. She can't be close to any black man that can check her. Basically, what did they say? Who can check me, boo? Who gonna check me, boo? Basically, ain't nobody can check her. Okay, I think the only people can check her is probably her brother. And he's a teddy and she's a grizzly. Very, very good. Even worse, she's probably a polar bear. They're worse. But she's a grizzly because she's black. More like a rabbit honey badger. Anyhow, y'all, let me get out of here, man. Let me get out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. You can put down in the comments what you guys would like to see tomorrow, because there's a whole bunch of stuff political and on the social side, and there's not enough to say where I actually want to do this one. I did this one is because I was actually going to do it anyway. It wasn't supposed to be a live, supposed to be like a standalone. But the thing is, I said, what the hell, man? Just do the goddamn thing, get it out the way. So anyhow, y'all, let me get out of here.
What can I say? Mamba out.
Muzyka Denis 7.